Noah, can you play us a little ditty to bring us into the episode?
A little ditty.
Yeah, just play. Hold on. Play a little excerpt. Wait, hold. Yeah. A little excerpt. And you guys check our levels. Make sure we're not.
Drum mic.
I like that.
And here we go into episode 2 of Lunch in the Band Room, where we do not have any lunch this time.
What?
Just that Red Bull.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing hot takes that these fools did not prepare. I did. And it's actually on my phone. That's recording right now.
Once we get into it,
but I remember it.
I mean, it's gonna like stir everything.
Okay,
I've,
it's gonna stir.
thought about.
I also asked the audience to give us some hot takes, so we have some to react to as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I watched Straight Outta Compton last night.
What?
Remember the film Straight
No,
Outta?
I know the film.
Yeah.
I worked on that movie.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick.
Back then.
You were
Back
in
in the
that
day. Huh?
You were in that movie.
I set up a table or a chair or two. Perhaps. Probably. Yeah, I think I did.
Crazy. That's awesome.
I don't know. I think I
No,
did.
that's sick.
What do you do for work, Marco?
Movie industry. I set up tables and chairs and makeup stations for talent.
Didn't you set
Rad.
up Chris Pratt's tent one time?
I did recently.
Oh,
recently.
Was
For a
that
new
for his
movie.
Monopoly commercial?
No, it's for a Karate Kid movie.
Oh.
Not the Karate Kid,
Oh,
but
yeah.
a type of Karate
Oh,
Kid movie.
okay. Wow.
It's
He was
another
in a
person
Monopoly
that's-
commercial. It
yeah.
was so random.
Really?
Yeah, Monopoly Go.
Oh, yeah, I saw
He was
that.
walking around. I was like, Chris Pratt, what are you doing here?
He's
Come on
Chris
now.
Pratt in it up.
Yeah, he
Dude.
really is.
Chasing his
The
bag.
commission check must have been fabulous.
Yeah, it must have been
That must have been like 20 million up front or something.
for Monopoly Go.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So a cost they will never recoup in like 50
No, they
years.
will never make that money back. I'm going to start us off strong with some hot takes.
Let's hear it.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
See what you guys think. This is from Bible Camp Survivor. Mallet. Here we go. Mallet percussion is the hardest set of instruments to get good at or even play decently. Aiden, what do you think?
Hot take, it's actually like the easiest. I started learning other instruments and I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, we got it pretty easy.
We don't use our mouths, so
Yeah, you don't have to
mouthing
rinse
is
out your mouth.
very, very hard.
This is
Very
true.
difficult.
Yeah, I was about to say the tone like immediately happens for you on something like mallet percussion or piano, which I'm just
Well,
gonna.
they are saying get good at.
Okay.
Because there is a discussion, but I
But that's
I
a
don't
whole
agree with that.
variable
I don't
that's
agree with that.
immediately solved. Like
This is true.
players on brass and woodwind spend years defining their tone.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
You know, there's certain ways that instruments kind of function. Like trombone's easy to learn but really difficult to master.
Yes,
One of
okay,
those
that's a
things.
better example. That's a better example.
Yeah, which that's not a hot take. I
So
think
with
that's-
with this hot take, we would say that is a pretty hot take because
that
we
is
do not
like
agree.
that burned the oven like the moment it went in there.
yeah, we do not agree with that take. But thank you, Bible.
That was
Camp
a nuclear
Survivor.
bomb.
Thank you.
Speaking of saxophones,
Oh.
E17176 says, had Adolf Sax not been blacklisted, the sax would have succeeded in orchestral music.
Thanks.
I don't know anything about that context. I was
Well, the
yeah.
guy who invented the saxophone, no one liked him. Like everyone
Oh.
hated him.
For
which
what?
they're saying. I don't know if he's a fun guy. I mean,
I mean, he's probably right then. I mean,
think
the
people
principle of
liked him.
association is real, and like people do. I mean, people's reputation matters, you know.
but this is a larger conversation. Is the reason it's not classical music just because they didn't like him and he was like ostracized, or is the reason like because the freaking sound doesn't sound very good in a orchestra?
Yeah, they probably didn't. They could have not had the person make like a super orchestral sound at the time, you know. I mean,
He was just honking.
yeah,
He was ripping solos. They're like, get
Playing
this
licks.
guy out of here.
That's
Get
probably
this-
what it was.
No, Adolf was just
The coolest
he's
guy
just
in
a-
the
check
room.
this out,
Yeah, yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
I called the Mixolydian
he was
scale.
a hard jazz bro, and they hated him so much. And then he turned and created jazz. No, I'm just kidding. Adolf Sax did not create jazz.
Unless
That's a crazy name. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Are the wheels turning, and should I just keep going on these?
keep going
now.
for now.
pretty
I'll
good.
keep going. This one, this feels like a pretty hot take. Toaster on top one. Jazz is better than any style. Then they weirdly included specifically Latin rock.
What do we have against Latin rock? That's
Huh?
That's awful.
What?
Latin rock's great.
Immediately the take is just invalidated. Jazz is amazing, especially better than Latin
Especially-
rock. Screw Latin rock.
What is
It's like a
wrong with
huge
you?
general statement, and then they're like, except for this stupid genre.
Yeah, this
Wow.
is like a battle between friends. It's like Latin rock is better than jazz, or jazz is better than Latin rock.
They're throwing that in there so they could like once this comes out, they're gonna like send this episode to their friend. They're like, see, they think it's not. They think it's better than Latin.
What did Latin rock do to him?
I don't even
I
know.
do have a good hot take. but
Latin
keep
rock.
going.
Okay, keep it.
I will
Store
keep
it.
Ooh,
Honestly,
I have a
I
great story for
haven't
this, too.
really heard Latin rock. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would assume it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm curious now.
It's very
like,
just.
I mean, let's look
percussion
up some-
It's like percussion heavy.
But, like,
Latin.
Hang on.
but
Like Latin
I'm
jazz, but rockier.
Doing it.
but like,
Like, think of
Oh,
Latin
really?
jazz.
It's Latin,
Yeah,
but rock
like-
elements are in it. What?
no. But like in terms of rock elements, are we speaking like compositionally or like electric guitars? Like they're just like. But
I
like
think
with Latin
like
instruments.
both.
Did you look up Latin rock? You got played in the speaker though, because no one's gonna hear it.
La verdad no hay otra cosa.
This is
I don't know
like-
if you picked a good example.
That's
This
not.
is the very first song on Latin rock mix.
Spotify doesn't know anything about anything.
That is completely fair.
Hot take. Spotify
All,
sucks.
how about this?
Spotify
We
DJ
review
sucks.
Latin rock mix on the next episode, and we get suggestions from our viewers.
Of the Latin rock. What?
I guess.
Put your favorite Latin rock
But
song
yeah,
in the
drop your favorite
Someone out there is like, no, you should have done this album, which I'm totally down to hear. So
That's fair. Okay.
I can't make a good judgment on that.
Well, then we won't talk about Latin rock then.
We'll put a
rock
pin in that
alone.
jazz
We'll leave
statement.
Latin rock alone. But so somebody dropped their favorite Latin rock song that we can be educated by
Enlighten
for next
us.
episode. But in terms of jazz is better than any style, I don't know if I agree.
What's
with
your
that.
favorite style to play or just listen to?
I gotta think about that
What's your favorite style you like to play or listen to?
because there's a difference
Different
between
moods.
play and listen to.
I think it's hard what he means by better, because like better can mean like more musical, or better can mean just more fun to listen to, or there's so many ways that you can interpret that statement. So it's hard to really say something on that, you know? That just feels like a bait statement. It feels like
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to. That's the point of it. you
kind
know?
of yeah.
So like answer it as if he's like jazz is superior in listening and playing to any.
That's a very easy answer. No.
Yeah, no. This is definitely jazz, bro.
I'm giving him the
saying
benefit
this.
of the doubt, assuming that there's finesse behind the statement. But if that's just at face value, he's just wrong.
He's got an ulterior motive for sure,
Definitely
based off the Latin rock statement as well.
But
But
did something wrong to
yeah,
him.
someone heard him. Someone heard him for sure. But yeah, no, I don't think jazz is better than every style. I don't. But
It's
like
up there.
No, of course,
It's
jazz
definitely
is
up there.
great, and jazz is like super influential and shapes tons of styles. But in terms of like, this feels like it's coming from like a jazz purist. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not Jacob Collier level of like
Yeah, no,
complexity,
yeah.
it's like it's nothing. And
Ooh,
I don't
man.
agree with that statement. What do you think, Aiden?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, he's fair.
Bad take,
There's
bad
He
take.
was-
plenty of other genres that
Yeah.
are likable.
And there's
you know.
so many
Yeah,
genres.
of course.
How about
Music
this? Go
is-
to the top selling albums ever. Take a shot for every album that's not jazz.
Not making it past 4.
You're gonna get to like 50. You just feel
Which-
like, bro, where's the jazz?
But jazz did used to be, but jazz used to be bigger in the country.
Different times.
So like if we were looking
in the 20s.
in the 20s, 30s, 40s, like some of the top selling albums were jazz albums.
Yeah,
But, like,
there's
in our state
there's
right
80
now-
years in between that. So
Huh?
we got 80 years of leeway time. where
that's
there's
true.
the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and like
Actually, 100 years in between
Yeah.
that time.
Wow.
I guess
Yeah,
get-
no.
we're old.
So I think right now
I was being generous because of the 40s.
we're old, and it
getting
was
old.
100 years ago.
Yeah, we're 100 years old.
Okay. Say that.
Maybe you are.
deep into the mic.
My bad.
We're 100 years old. Yeah, but I mean, how are the cameras doing? Are they doing good?
How
Okay,
pretty I
great.
look.
Just make sure they're all on. Yeah.
We've probably said as
Great.
much as we can say
Thank
on this
you.
take. I think.
Stunning.
Lion Bros
Sarah.
hates jazz.
Confirmed.
Oh well, Noah. Cole Kirby says trombones carry the brass section.
Ooh.
Well, he has a mic.
Well, you need to
I
talk to
need
the people.
more. Man, just he kind of right, low key. I think you need the mid to low end. I think
Just making sure it works.
we're definitely one. I don't know if one can really exist without the other, but I think the difference is more noticeable if you have a brass section of only trumpets and tuba, than if you have a brass section of only like trombones and tuba. You know,
This is true.
I think you lose a little bit more on the other side. Maybe that's just because I like middle to lower pitches better sometimes, but he's cooking up something with that.
They're definitely in between. Definitely very like because I think you got like bass trombone, which can like kind of substitute for tuba, and you got like some trombones that are playing very high.
Yeah,
and like alto trombone. So I think because it's in the middle, there is room to like make up for other instruments.
He
I
said
think
in
we can
jazz.
get a richer sound.
He said in jazz. Oh.
Oh,
That's a
he said in
different
jazz.
one.
Don't look at those.
That's a different.
Don't cheat,
Oh.
Aiden.
Oh.
Don't look at the other
Okay,
ones.
I was
Oops.
like, why would
My
you
bad.
remove
My bad.
context? I was like, no.
No.
No, he said
Why
in
did just
general.
trombones carry the
One-sided
brass
takes?
section?
No, he's onto something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would say, well, I would say, yeah, I could
I see.
agree with that. I don't think that's a crazy hot take.
Pretty normal.
That's a
Pretty-
little spicy.
pretty lukewarm.
That's a little spicy.
Depends if you're a brass player. As three
you tell that to a
non-brass
horn
players,
player, they're gonna get really mad. But
well, sucks to suck. I mean, sorry, horns.
Moving on.
In jazz, trombone. Ooh, this. Yeah, I
Another
think this is a
trombone
hot take.
take.
Yeah, no. Noah's being represented here.
I guess so.
In jazz, trombone solos are just straight up better than alto or tenor sax solos. Wait, hold your mic lower so we can see your face.
When we read that again?
I love this guy.
I mean, it's a different guy. Oh, this is
I know it's a
CY
different
Rush 375.
Trombone is really pretty to listen to for solos.
It is very beautiful.
I like it.
I would agree.
I agree with that.
I think.
side, truthfully.
I think from where this statement's trying to come from, it's so easy in an alto and tenor solo to just play a whole bunch of notes.
This is true.
Trombone, you kind of can't. Well, I guess you can, but you like
You do.
destroy yourself trying to do it.
Yeah.
And the
As he
instrument has
looks
so much more to
lovingly
offer.
at his trombone.
Yeah.
He's itching.
He's like, I gotta play.
No, I'm just thinking about some good memories, I guess. Good jazz solos.
I've seen this guy do. You've done a
Thinking about good
handful of
jazz
really
solos?
Yes. No, sometimes I like hit a solo
Put
lick
like
and
a
I'm
montage.
Oh, wait.
You ever hear this guy play trombone? You ever hear?
Oh no, I love it every time.
No, sometimes real time whenever soloing, like my brain conscious will just be like, "Oh, that was nasty. You're crazy," or something like that. You know?
Are you thinking that to yourself or to
Typing
the
himself up.
trombone?
To myself.
As you're just
trombone
looking,
is a-
you're kind of personifying the trombone, right? You're like, look at all our memories together.
Dude, that's what it feels like sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair. I think as a saxophone player, who doesn't, I don't really enjoy soloing, so I think I'm already leaning this direction. Anyways, I think having you can't just shred notes as easily, so I think it forces you to probably think of maybe some better melodic ideas.
Yeah, exactly. It's
In my
gonna stick to a listener better. It's like it is very technically impressive to be able to do the shredding notes. and
Of
stuff.
course. I can't shred like that.
But the point of a solo is for the listener
don't
at the end
want
of the day. So like, yeah,
But what's that one quote where he's like, "It's for the listener, but the first listener is yourself." You know,
yeah,
like you're talking about with liking your solos. You know, like we're the first listener of our music.
yeah.
especially
You're
when
gonna be
we're
your most
practicing.
honest critic.
This is true, and sometimes not in a good way.
That guy's
But-
also cooking. I like that
Hey,
guy.
stop looking, bro.
No, I'm saying that guy's also cooking.
Oh, I thought you were looking ahead at our other
no,
takes.
no.
Current.
At our other
I think
takes.
your mic is very low.
Really?
Yes.
Let
Or
me-
you need to talk more into it.
Let me turn it up like that. Is that good?
Yeah. Now you're.
If I keep it
matching
round here,
Yeah.
like you can hear me.
Yeah.
Cool. Is everybody else's levels good?
Yeah.
Noah's not maxing out.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I know.
No, it's
well.
good
Let
now.
me play a little.
You can turn me down or whatever.
You can hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're good.
Okay. Yeah, if we max out, just go ahead and take a little peek at it. Okay, we got another one. This is not a hot take. This is just straight up truth. It's not spit, it's condensation. This is true.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Am I going to drink it? No. No one's going to do that, but it's not spit all the time. For
There's a
you
little
guys,
spit
maybe
in
it is.
there.
For brass, I think it is
There's
a little more.
bit. There's a little bit. I'm gonna be straight up honest. There's at least 5% spit.
No. Yeah, no, there is a percentage of spit. But if someone's like, oh my gosh, you produced that much spit as you're emptying out, it's like,
Yeah, no, that's.
It's not all spit, especially for
Definitely
woodwinds. Like for
I
you,
forgot about woodwinds entirely.
for
when they
you,
came.
you
Yeah.
are like actively spitting into your brass instrument. So like, yes, that's all you're doing. You're just
spitting.
like you are spitting into your while you're solo and while you just play anything. You're just spitting.
That's facts.
Yeah.
But like for woodwinds, it's like usually the amount of space is often a good indicator of like a good like warm like your air, the quality of your air. So if you're like having to empty your berry sacks or stuff, you're like yes, because you're using like good like warm air like deep from your diaphragm like everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
We gotta get some percussion takes.
I know,
These guys
I-
have been
clearly-
mighty quiet.
It's pretty good.
clear. I mean, I got here. Wait, let's see.
Dude, you're caked up with the takes. What the heck?
Yeah, bro. No, I'm
What?
not. I'm not. This is our wonderful, wonderful audience who's
people.
I
listening.
didn't realize we had that much.
The people.
Every now and then I forget about our fans.
Let's
Wow.
see.
Hear
Wow,
him say
that's
that? How dare you?
hot take.
No. Not
That's
like
the hottest take of the episode.
I don't like forget.
Everybody
but
just
like
clicked
I
off.
mean, I
Everybody
live a
clicked
normal
off.
life. Like I don't
He's
know.
not one for
I
the
don't
fame.
I don't often think about like, hey, there's people that just enjoy what we do. You know,
It is a bit surreal.
It is pretty crazy.
It's not supposed to be like, oh, screw the fans. It's supposed to be
Nah,
like
I
a
know,
humble
I know,
experience. Like, oh, I have fans. Technically,
People
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
Thank you for caring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is cool every time someone like responds.
Thank
It was
you.
applause. He played applause on the sound effect. No, it is cool. And I mean, Noah, out of all of us, is the one most like likely to not remember that because he's very adamant about me not tagging his Instagram. So if you're always wondering why Noah's never tagged and why the bio is all of our Instagrams and Noah in plain text, that's why. But that's why this take is coming from you because Noah likes to lead a secret life.
that's gonna have to change soon. But like,
What?
You're branding
well,
now?
I mean,
Are you gonna
I'm
brand?
gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
I'm
you
gonna be a
brand?
freelance musician. Like, I can't
That's
just
true.
refuse credit at
true.
some point. But
That's
I would
true.
have to. I'm gonna need to create like a real public music account. I had one at one point.
What about
and then I
trombone
just-
guy LB?
I'm just gonna delete that.
With
and
your
start
blue
over.
hair?
No. The blue hair thing needs to die. That never looked good. I'm so sorry. We're gonna start from scratch.
That's fair.
Especially since I was more of a trombone player then. I wanna start something like composer, trombone player, freelance musician, something more professional.
That's a long username, but like we'll work on it.
That's perfect.
That wasn't the username, dummy.
Composer trombone. Blah, 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 blah. But, so then we'll do that soon, so we can start tagging it.
Yeah.
It just
Coming
looks like
soon.
3 people every time, and then except Charles, 4 people. Someone did shout out Charles. I don't have a hot take. I just love Lion Bros. Shout out to Charles.
Shout out Charles.
I'll shout out Charles.
He's
Yeah.
gonna come later. He's coming in like an hour.
Unless he's hiding
From
in that
Holiday
closet right now.
Spectacular. He handed
That's today?
Aiden. Yeah.
Oh.
Dude,
Oh.
all the school breaks are so much like pushed further this year since like Christmas is at a weird point. So
It's
like,
at such a weird
the
point.
last day of school, I think for them is like the 21st or something, which is so close to
Oh,
That's crazy.
That's brutal, bro.
Christmas. Something like that.
That's brutal. Yeah,
Unlucky.
we got no percussion, but hey,
Hey, I mean the mallet one was pretty spicy.
that's true. That's true.
That
that's
was a
true.
pretty good
We
one.
did
Yeah.
have mallets.
Do you want to flame into that one a little bit more?
No, I'm okay. I think
I'm kidding.
Well, no. What was the one that came up in your mind that we can?
Ooh, so this is a great story. And so I had like like last semester when I had a roommate, his brother was over and they're like primarily classical musicians. And so
Oh,
one night
really?
I'm like, yeah.
Both of
definitely.
them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay.
And so you definitely know what I'm talking about.
Well,
and
obviously, I
so they're
do.
definitely like they just start getting into I'm like playing Smash and they start being like, dude, classical music is just like the best genre of music. It's so hard. It's so impressive. I just can't believe they do this stuff. Like they're giving the full like glazing treatment. They're just all of that. And it was like I was in a weird mood that day, to be completely honest. So I'm like, I literally thought in my head, I don't think that's true. And normally I wouldn't care, because why would you bother caring? But I'm like, I wonder how far I can take this argument.
Did you?
And so I literally started, here's my hot take. I do think that jazz is harder. I think, okay, this is going to be a really upfront statement, and I'm going to explain my reasoning. I think jazz is harder than classical music. Because they're kind of both hard in their own ways, but think about what makes it good. think about what makes a good jazz musician. A good jazz musician should always be ready to solo. I'm just gonna lay that out there. And
I
so,
got a hot take for you coming up then.
Sweet. I mean,
No, keep going.
the
keep going.
optimal jazz musician should
going,
be
keep
ready to play a great solo. And what happens when you solo in jazz, as opposed to performing classical music, if you perform classical music, there's a predetermined practice regimen and then a very specific outcome. Jazz, you need to understand the tools you're working with and create something that is at least somewhat like similar to something like someone shouldn't think that a classical result is better than a jazz result because, oh, the jazz person was just creating it real time. You have to create a sensational performance for both. And so I think it's harder to create a sensational performance in jazz than it is for something in classical because you're always preparing for something classical wise. You can prepare for it ahead of time. It's predetermined. You know exactly what's going to happen and you're set there and you are able to make it happen. But in jazz, things are happening all the time. Like the whole way you need to give a sensational performance changes the more you play like the tune or the song or the chart. Like, I just think it's harder to have to understand the tools and building blocks of music than it is to like predeterminedly practice something and then play it.
I mean, that exists in jazz outside of just solos. Like, take out, say there's no solos in a song.
Yeah.
It's all written on ink. Practically is the same as classical. If we're talking about preparing something,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. We're just talking about improving, but take improving out of it. If you're talking about the genre of jazz and the genre of classical music in terms of like...
But the genre of jazz is so intertwined with soloing because we're thinking about big band right now, probably,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's only a portion of jazz. Think about combos.
Okay, well, there's
Tons of jazz
quartets
combos
for
groups.
classical quartets.
Quintets, sextets, like
Yeah.
all these combo groups that in real time.
Well, I'm
haven't
talking about
done-
classical, but I mean like woodwind quartet or
Oh,
something
you're
like
talking
that.
about classical? I thought
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
just.
You were just naming numbers, but yeah.
No, I was naming. I thought we were talking about big bands and jazz, where it's like, oh, but you're still preparing for the same thing as a big band chart, which that's kind of like true, but in classical music, there's never that element of spontaneity at all, but in jazz there is. That's just a factor that I think is harder to master than something where you can always prepare for it.
You're thinking.
It's kind of hard to think about and like really digest fully. Like, I argued with them about it for 3 hours since I had nothing
3
better
hours.
to do.
Oh,
And
boy.
I whittled one of them down from he at start he was like, yeah, no, classical is definitely harder than jazz. And at the end he was just like, I just think there's things that we don't understand about both of them. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I've at least made him think about it. And then the other guy I talked for an hour and a half, and I don't think he understood my point. Or maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but he just was unwilling to
He
accept
probably
it.
just wanted to keep arguing with you too for fun.
Maybe so.
To
Some
be
people
fair, you
definitely-
said, how far can I make this go? So you were also doing the same thing.
Debating.
Yeah, I was being an instigator for sure.
Well, I think I hear what you're talking about. I think there's comparisons on all sides, but there's also like many key differences where like I think some of the mastery of classical music is like watching a conductor, whereas like a conductor really doesn't matter like at all.
Conducting shouldn't really be in jazz, period.
Yeah, they just show up for the end and they announce the songs. At least in school, big bands, but it's often a band leader.
Section. Yeah.
It's often a band leader. That's why like you don't have like a dedicated, unless it's a teacher of an ensemble,
Yeah. So back to if we're talking about the other jazz thing, what he said, jazz is better than the other genres. I wondered if this was something that he meant about where jazz is like almost feels more holistically musical in a sense, but that's also a very deep rabbit hole.
Well,
you know?
personally, I think that's easy to say as a very talented improv musician.
Why, thank you.
It's easy to favor that side of it. But as someone who really prefers the active, I guess, creation before playing, I prefer writing as opposed to in the moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, this is like the prime example of like what music should be.
I mean,
Or the most beautiful like expression of art. I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah,
As
that's
someone
kind
who would
of-
rather craft a solo and pre-write it / like solis. Like I prefer that.
but if we go on to that point too, are you saying it's harder, like, to do it like a solo, because of course, if you prefer to do the predetermined type thing, which is amazing, of course, as well. I feels like you're acknowledging a certain level of difficulty to creating a improvisational solo too.
I didn't say it wasn't difficult. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying it's easy to favor that side when you're good at improv. But as someone who's not good at improv,
I guess so.
I
mean, ignore the whole holistically musical thing. I don't know if I really agree with that. Like, I kind of said it as a logical, not a logical extension, but a possible extension of what the other take was kind of saying. I wondered if that was the rabbit trail he was going down. But, but I think it's just, I think he just has a vendetta versus Latin rock.
Yeah, no, that guy hates Latin rock, clearly.
Yeah.
But
My main point was really about jazz being harder than classical.
yeah,
in a more
I don't know if I
intuitive sense.
entirely agree with that. I think there are still things that, technically speaking, as a player, like proficiency-wise, there are still things that exist in classical music that don't exist in any other genre. That, like, if we're talking about like nitty-gritty, like things that like there are certain like annotations and stuff that you have to do in classical that only exist there.
Do you mean like articulations?
Not even just articulations. I'm saying like styles of playing and like for string players and things that are written, and like there are things that are technically
Well,
more
I can definitely tell you there's no
proficient.
string techniques in jazz. So
Well, yeah,
that's a separation.
but there can be in jazz orchestras.
I guess so, but like style and articulation still exist very heavily in jazz as much as classical music too.
But there were classical composers just like doing whatever they wanted to, so they were creating like really difficult things that like I don't think exist in jazz in terms of things that are like unnecessarily complicated, that these people recreating these like hundreds of years old, like really old music have to like recreate now and learn how to do. But if you asked a jazz musician, can you play this piece that's like unnecessarily hard? I'm not saying it should be that hard, but I think there's still a skill in being able to do that now.
Oh, of course there
as
is.
a musician.
I'm not saying it doesn't take skill.
That's not not less difficult than just being a jazz musician.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff that is unnecessarily hard in classical music. I think the point I was saying is that like there's definitely a part of classical repertoire and like practice that isn't super present in jazz, or most likely isn't. But to kind of round off the whole point too, I think I told another one of my friends about this conversation I had, and they also added, I think it'd also be very much more noticeable if you put a bunch of classical players and told them to read a jazz chart, instead of if you put a bunch of jazz players and told them to read a classical thing. I think the notice is more differentiable.
Oh gosh.
The difference is more noticeable.
I disagree.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I disagree. I think the complexity that you're reading in, if we're talking about big band, or even if you're just reading like real book, charts, it like classical music can be so technically hard. So to be like, oh, jazz musicians could sight read that way better than classical musicians could play jazz.
Of course that. I'm saying the difference in like style and just like how the music comes together would be more noticeable.
But there's a classical style too.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm saying,
But almost everyone kind of starts at that point, I guess.
yeah.
It feels like we're getting too in the weeds, but that's one of my takes.
I don't even really like classical music, but I'm fighting for you guys. Don't worry.
That was pretty hot. That was a hot take.
Yeah.
That was steamy.
You know what? Play a little short excerpt for us to get us into a next section. Keep going with that.
Hey kids.
There we go.
Oh.
Perfect. Don't it. Yay!
Yippee!
So, our next hot take. This is something we all remember.
Yeah.
Bibbers. Okay?
Oh.
Hold on. My hot take? You remember Bibbers?
No.
That was the pants that we wore. Marching band Bibbers.
I don't remember, but yeah, we do.
Not at all.
I don't know names.
There were two things for our marching band outfit. They're like overalls.
Yeah,
They're just
I
like
envisioned
Bibbers.
it, but I've never not once heard that term in my life.
Honestly,
They're
yeah.
called Bibbers.
I've never heard anybody say Bibbers.
You serious?
I don't think I heard anybody because I would just they would just
Yeah.
You guys have?
That's what
Yeah.
they're called.
because I would just put it on.
What do they call them? Overalls?
No, they're called Bibbers.
Yeah.
Everybody would be like, "That's your uniform. Put on your uniform."
Yeah, I just heard.
Well, those people are
uniform.
boring. Okay, put it in chat if you agree, Bibbers or nah.
What a
okay, so
statement.
I think
That's wild.
my hot take, Bibbers. If you guys remember what it felt like
Yes.
to wear them, right?
They're comfy.
Low key, comfiest pants I've ever
They
worn.
are pretty comfy. I agree.
I think those maybe if I could wear Bibbers in everyday life and it didn't look weird, I would do it.
That's where
That's
I disagree with
called,
you.
overalls.
I was wrong.
No. Hold on.
Until that point,
Hold
I
on.
was like, no.
No, if there is a socially acceptable way, that
Not
was not
even that.
overalls. I don't
Not
even
even
want.
that.
I don't want to wear denim. I'm talking about like just like
That material.
I felt so snug.
What about marching in them though? Were you comfortable marching? in it?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
Eh.
It's definitely comfortable
Eh.
for what it is.
Eh.
Like,
Well, I don't
my
know.
first time putting on that uniform, I was like, oh gosh, it's gonna be so uncomfortable. And I put it on, I was like, actually, this is perfectly fine. I'm fine with this.
I mean,
But
maybe I
would
just
never,
had a good
I would,
fitting one.
There's no reason that I would ever be like, I'm gonna wear this today. There's no reason I'd ever do that.
Listen, I'm
even
not
if it was
gonna wear
transparent.
Bibbers out in the wild. That's not what I'm saying.
What's stopping you?
A lot of
Nothing.
things.
Nothing.
A lot of
I think a
things.
good compromise would be overalls.
I disagree. I'm not strong enough to take that step. But I mean, what did you think about Bibbers, Hayden?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
they're comfortable. Yeah. I
Right?
used to wear like suspenders, honestly, but
Under the Bibbers?
no,
Oh,
like,
I was like, that's great.
There was
would've
a-
rocked.
there was a phase
Yeah,
of my
double
life where I
dipping.
liked
That's
wearing
crazy.
suspenders on
That's
my
true.
pants.
You used to have wait.
But they were comfortable, not
The ones that kept like
Not
your
necessarily.
shirt tucked.
yeah.
And it was like, where was that connected to? The other half of that like suspender. It
What do
was,
you
like,
mean?
to your socks, right? Or like there's
What?
something that like
Isn't it to your pants? or
remember
belt?
it was something that like kept like you could like pull your pants and it would like pull your shirt back down.
Oh, those are called garters. Those are called
Oh,
shirt
yeah.
tail garters.
Yeah, but like where was
That's
that
something
connected
else.
to?
My socks.
That's what I said.
That's different. It's like
Okay,
reverse
okay.
suspenders.
No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
You were like really in the suspender
I
game.
was. Yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah, you swagged out.
You were swagging out with the
Ugh.
suspender. You told me like every trip we were on, you're like, bro, look at my really cool thing that pulls my shirt, and then you show me. That's why it's so in my
Yeah.
brain.
I don't know where they are anymore.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Garters, reverse overalls. What about you, Marco? Bibbers or nah?
They are comfy.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't mind them. It felt nice. Held everything there.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you just like simplify. It was like like kind of like your shirt and your pants at one time.
The jacket though, uncomfortable. The
Yeah.
Bibbers, nice.
I mean, I felt pretty swaggy. I don't know how many people would agree with that, but I felt pretty swaggy.
Ours were nice.
Yeah, ours were nice.
Yeah.
Our red. Yeah, those were pretty cool.
Every now and then you got like a bad jacket, I think. Every now and then you had one with like straight threads and the cuffs and would like itch your wrists or something.
They
like-
were pretty thick,
Yeah.
but on cold nights they were nice.
Yeah.
Knowing I
Yeah.
was like, Bibbers on, jacket on, and you were like, I'm locked in.
Well,
and the
we-
gloves too.
We in drumline, we had what was the cuffs? Yeah,
Cuffs.
So we got the things to hold it back, so it was even more comfy. So we didn't have
Oh,
to deal with the
like a
I mean, that
giant-
makes sense.
Oh,
You
that's
remember
so
that? It was the
sick.
big white like.
I guess that
sock
makes
looking
sense. You
things.
don't want like a sleeve flying up whenever you're like.
Or get
Yeah.
your stick
Yeah.
in the sleeve. Yeah.
That helped a lot. That was
Interesting. Oh, so that was like really locking you in.
Nice. Yeah.
Did you have to get them like tailored to get?
No,
be
they were just like
shorter
a
or no?
one size like sock looking.
It's like a
thing.
sweat-
No, I mean
band.
like your
Yeah.
jacket. Your jacket. Did it have to be shorter? Or they just like.
No, they were saying that's why we had the cuff. Yeah.
I don't think I ever like clocked that, but I remember you guys having like something different.
Yeah.
I definitely never recognized that.
That's what we had
Interesting.
The cuffs.
Interesting.
Very snug.
back in my
Very
day.
snug. Back in
our-
my day.
Back in our day.
Now you couldn't wear those out in public with your overalls.
Yeah, you could.
What's stopping you?
That's like a workout.
I
So
know.
you're
They're like
wearing
workout
workout
bands.
outfits.
What if you use John Cena, the sweatbands?
The
Oh,
green.
yeah,
cuffs.
that's what. That's what he.
That's
looks
what he
like.
wears. That's
Yeah.
what his Fortnite skin wears.
No way.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. Refund. I'm refunding. Well,
Hot take.
what else we got? We got someone just dropped like a title of a song. Two people did
What's the
that
song?
actually.
Maybe they want us
Plaza
to
de
listen.
Torta.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I don't
Must
know
be
what it is.
Latin rock.
Womp. Must be Latin rock.
That's got
Maybe that was the suggestion. They knew we needed a suggestion.
Find that?
Yeah, look it up
Plaza.
for our people listening in and not watching the video. Is that small one still going?
You said Torta?
Yeah.
Yeah, T.
Plaza de Torda.
Torda.
It's not showing up on Spotify. I'm getting a lot of Plaza de Toro, but
What if it's just their own song that they're like gonna write?
I guess you can use this as a way to promote your own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of funny.
Yeah. Check out my new hit single, guys.
Yeah, check it out.
Peep this.
Peep this. Oh, well, I did want to point out that on quite a bit of our videos, we have people commenting, "Oh, I didn't know Tom Holland played trombone." So if you want to just keep that with you,
What?
tuck that away.
What videos?
Quite a lot of them.
Really?
Where?
Yeah.
I've never.
I've seen like 5 or 6 comments
I've
say
seen
that.
a lot of.
It's either Instagram
wow,
and
these
YouTube.
kids hit puberty. I've seen a
That's
lot
true.
of that.
That's
No,
true.
I've seen everybody say you aged well.
Yeah.
Everybody
Oh,
says you're very
like fine
beautiful.
wine.
I've seen a lot of ones that are like,
You're
wow, this
talking
guy's
about-
cute.
You're just making up
I'm
stuff
not
now.
lying.
Where are you seeing
There's
this?
comments that say like, Noah's cute. You
Where
see
you
it.
see-
Yeah. Right.
Did you put these comments?
Maybe. But I know there's other people.
You're
who've done it
saving
too.
them for
No,
yourself.
again,
Yeah.
I've seen like the Lyon Bros versus puberty type thing.
No,
Like,
I've seen
a lot of
it
that.
hit him like a truck, and I'm like, well, that was 5 years ago. So yes, it
Yes,
would
it did.
definitely
Dude,
hit
every
us like a truck.
you know how many times I get like from random friends, like in my production techniques group chat, someone just
Aw.
posted a screenshot of Lion Bros, and it's like,
no.
I didn't know you were in this, Noah. And
Tiny
like,
Noah.
yeah, and it was totally tiny me, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
You're like, yeah, and
And
no, that was yeah.
Those were times.
Yeah, but
Wow.
just so they also compared you to some guy from Criminal Minds. There was some actor they were also comparing you to, and then someone said, I mean, people say I look like the guy in the wheelchair in Glee.
Oh, what's his name?
Do you watch him?
Yeah.
Do you
I
know what I'm
watched
talking
Glee.
about?
Yeah.
I see it. I mean,
I see it a little. It's
Let's
just because
just-
of glasses.
yeah. Let's just.
now I hear it in their
You
headphones.
hear it, yeah. That's like what I get. Noah's like Tom Holland, and they're like, "You look like that guy from Glee."
I'll totally
Like-
take Tom Holland,
That's
man.
unfortunate.
Okay.
I'm honored, I guess.
Okay, thought I'd share that since you know,
Appreciate it.
Noah forgets about the fans, so he definitely doesn't read the comments.
I actually do
Womp
read.
womp.
I read the comments on like the first day.
Yeah.
Like I see what like the first comments that are likely to blow up is, and I always
So-
leave one of my own.
Now you know.
We read comments.
Comment on the first day if you want
Yeah,
Noah
if,
to
you-
see
if you
your
if you
comments.
comment within like the first 6 hours, I'll probably read it.
Oh, wow, there you go. And Noah, what's your YouTube handle?
I think it's
Twilight Thief.
I think I changed it.
It's
back to Noah
Twilight
Simpson.
Thief.
No,
Oh,
it's
did
not.
you?
Yeah, no, I definitely. Well, I mean,
Because you were like,
I'm not making content anymore, so like.
No, I know. Were you?
Yeah, it's Noah. It's Noah Simpson. I think my original @ is still like Twilight Thief 98.
I'm pulling
19
up
or
some
something.
comments to
You're
see if
pulling
I
up some
find
comments?
anything good.
Find anything good?
Actually, yeah. No, I've definitely left a comment on like every single video recently.
But it's funny because it's like an unmarked, like no profile picture. It's like Twilight
Yeah,
Thief
yeah.
76, and they're like,
Yeah, nobody's gonna know. It's
"This
you.
was so funny recording
I
this."
honestly
and I'm
kind of
like,
like that. No, everyone's gonna.
It is pretty
Remember those
mysterious.
people
People are
that
gonna
would
think
always
you're
assume
crazy.
that they went to high school with us and stuff? Where it's like, oh, I know these kids at our school, and it's like a totally
Yeah,
fake
it's like
school.
yeah.
People
so
are
like
gonna assume that like
Valley
I'm fake,
Vista,
even
like
though I'm
all
real.
these random
Hey,
schools.
I got 6 likes.
Hey,
Actually, I guess my
how
@
can
is
you
Twilight
forget
Thief
about
still.
those
Yeah.
fans, Noah?
I don't forget. I don't forget was the wrong word. I don't always think
Okay,
about them.
okay.
I was gonna say we should look at these comments, but you've replied to like all of them already.
Yeah, I
No,
do.
yeah.
No, I saved
He
some
goes
of them.
through.
4
He goes through.
replies?
4 replies.
Oh,
What
I
makes-
replied to that.
From DSec V, what makes Aiden so stunningly?
Oh, that's why I was confused. They're like
The
they're-
suspenders.
No. It's because her username
That's you.
has stunningly on it. No. That I think that's why.
Yo,
That's why.
that got 1 million views.
Which one?
The drummer metronome one.
Yeah,
Really?
dude. Oh, did it hit 1 million?
When the drummer is the only one with the metronome in their ears.
Yeah, when the
Oh,
drummer
yeah, that
hogs
was pretty
the
good.
metronome.
That's
Aiden, did you see that?
really unfortunate.
I did.
It all of a sudden blew up, and I was like, oh hey.
Isn't this the first time too we hit 253?
I think so.
We were only at 252 for the longest time.
I'm down.
We're up.
Oh, we
have
got like 600 new
206
subscribers in the
videos?
past. Well, because there's a lot of shorts, but
Oh, shorts count. Okay.
I mean, we've done probably
That's I
50
I
long
probably
form?
scrolled past 50. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
wow.
yeah.
That's insane.
Let's go.
Anyways, any next hot takes for us, or any hot takes that you guys are cooking up?
What are you guys thinking in that head of yours? In that Santa head of
it's
yours?
very comfy. It's
Oh,
cozy.
good.
Somebody's asking us to get the Talk to a Girl on the podcast.
They did not.
Another one.
Did I
saying-
answer?
There's
That's
so
just-
many. Yes, you've replied to 3 of
I
them
need-
talking
I
about
need-
Talk to a Girl.
No. I need to know what goes through these people's heads. It's like, can you get the talk to a girl? And I'm like, how,
Oh, I think
how would I do that?
someone did say, "Is this going to be the next Talk to?" And I was like, "Gosh, I hope so."
Larry Chops, is this the new Talk to? Thank you, Larry.
No, some of these I'd be getting like crazy, like dry humor, which is just funny.
Thanks, guys.
I have a blast there. Someone was like, "What?" They were like, "Should I try this?" And I was like, "Don't." So it's like,
You were just very honest. Like the Wendy's Twitter, you ever seen that?
no, I do. Some of those are fake, but the Wendy's Twitter is pretty. I'm trying to see if there's
some of those are fake,
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Marco or Nor.
My bad. Wait, your handle's Twilight Thief 981.
That's what I said.
I don't know why
What?
it put the numbers there, but I guess it's there.
Because somebody probably already has Twilight Thief.
I don't remember using 98. It wouldn't have been those numbers either, but
They're probably
I don't care.
auto-generated.
Is
That's
this
fine.
the new Talk to? Oh gosh, I hope so. There we go. Oh, I said, how did you guess our episode 3 guest? Get the Talk to a girl as a guest on your podcast.
Wow,
Oh,
amazing. Tell
gosh.
Felix to come back.
That's the same person every time, by the way.
Really? I have
Because they
seen that on
misspell it every
multi- I
time.
have seen that on
That
multiple
is the same
videos.
person every time. They're like, "Oh gosh, I hope Felix is doing okay." And I'm like,
I mean, he is doing okay. I
He's
did
doing
see,
great.
I did see him when we went to New York. That was
"Oh yeah, how was that?" Tell
that
the
was
pod
so
about
awesome.
that.
We went to a jazz club.
Oh.
It was actually like the sickest thing ever. We like hit up a New York pizza joint, and then we went to the jazz club. That was just an experience of all time. That was so fun. Like,
Did you stay to jam?
I did not stay to jam. Felix did stay. I still have to ask him about that. He said he was going to stay to jam and he was going to try and sing. And I was like, oh?
At like 12:30 a.m.
Oh,
He
this
stayed
was-
at a
hey,
jazz
It
club.
might have been 1. And
might
I
have
was
been
like, the subway at 1 a.m. does not look too friendly either. So I better get back home. But he was like
You
so
stayed to
down
jam.
to,
I know
yeah.
we gotta get word on how that jam went.
Yeah.
Because I said no.
Dude.
You should have stayed and
He's
videoed
honestly-
it.
That would have been cool.
No. Nathaniel, like, Mom would have killed me if I was out that late.
No. That's true.
Nah,
But if you
you're-
videoed it, oh,
Like, I
I'm
already
posting that right.
stayed for this.
Did you see the vibe guy that I posted
Oh, yeah.
on Instagram?
Yeah.
He was just on the streets of New York, full vibraphone, ripping. Ford
Oh,
mallet,
no,
just
the
ripping.
wow.
Yeah, he's
Pull it up so Aiden can see it. We'll get a live reaction. Play it into your drum mic. But it was crazy. I was like, I heard him from a distance. I was like, no way this man is ripping on this vibraphone. No sheet music. He was just doing whatever he wanted.
I have no service.
Oh.
Yikes.
How are the levels doing? They're doing good?
Come on, T-Mobile.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound good.
Great.
You sound good. You're great.
Phew. I was like fighting demons trying to edit last episode's podcast. I'm like cutting out Noah's whole thing. I'm using camera audio for just Aiden because the mic cable was wrong. Like, I felt like a hacker.
it is.
Okay, here it is. And he starts, Christmas time is here after this. Here it is. Wait. Isn't that crazy?
awesome.
He was
How
just
did
like
he
on the
get that
street
there?
doing. I don't know, bro.
Do you think he took it apart and built it back there?
Yeah.
In his
Or
car
rolled it
something?
like far down the street. He's
Just walking
ripping.
miles.
Actually, yeah. How do you transport that?
Take it on the subway.
Maybe we
We've seen
we got
weirder
some
things on the
traction
sub-
on there.
We've seen some weirder things on the subway.
We got some traction on that video and got some people. We got this guy like with a vibe username. He's like something vibes.
Glavano vibes?
Yes.
Glavano? I
But
hope I'm saying
then
that.
he didn't know what DCI was, and I was like, oh, but that's like a huge deal for like front ensemble and like
Yeah, for mallet
vibraphone.
players.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd think that's like.
Oh, yeah, he said, what is even a DCI? It's okay, it's okay.
And I was like, wait, hold on. You don't know what DCI is? Wait, this was the guy that like commented like 8 times on our video and then was like, this video's kind of mid or something like that. And I was like, funny enough, you commented 8 times on it. So
Thanks for the
I don't
engagement.
know if it's
That's
if it's truly
one of my
mid.
biggest pet peeves. People being like, "Oh, this content creator fell off" or whatever. Like,
And you're like,
come
why
on
are
now.
you here?
Like,
Man,
man.
come on, man.
I guess I'm feeling more broad music hot takes in general. So I have them, but I don't want to just keep yapping. You know.
Well, I mean, Marco,
What's up?
do you have any general music hot takes? Because if we're fresh out of takes,
Are we
fresh
fresh
out
out
of
of takes? Have we gone through every single one?
I
of
mean,
them?
not all. I mean, some of them are like kind of similar to like someone's like French horns belong in jazz. Jazz orchestra, yes. Some Michael Bublé hits, yes. They're rad, but you know, Noah's making a face.
He's
For all those
fuming.
listening, no,
He's fuming.
Noah's making a face.
And I'm making a face of deep contemplation.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
don't think
Give him
so,
a chance.
but-
Oh well,
Well, there it was.
there goes the chance.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Instant shut. No, it's just like it's hard because French horn and trombone are so similar in general. And the general thing that I've heard every French horn player always say is like, "But our instrument sounds nicer than ours." And in jazz, it just like doesn't matter half the time. So
That's true. I mean, they can't be as
there's some things they can be used for, but like as a mainstay
they don't got the
in jazz,
dexterity.
I don't know.
They can't be like
Like how? Like how?
like that.
Oh.
I'm gonna play that at the beginning of the episode.
Can you play that on the Glock?
I bet that guy in New York can.
Play the lick I did after the KSI song. Just play that every time.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not gonna play that.
That
every
was the
time.
lick of a lifetime.
That
You don't
was-
understand.
We're so lucky we
I'm
got that
never
on camera.
gonna play that ever
We are
again in my
so
life.
lucky we got that on camera.
That was
Yeah,
godly.
that was
That video
insane.
did well too.
I saw that. It was
It
like
did like
140. I was like,
340,000.
people are gonna
on
think I'm a
Instagram.
lot better than I am because I
Yeah.
miraculously
They'll be
somehow
like,
played
"This guy's
that.
ripping all the time."
I slowed it down. It was like ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I was like, I did that.
Yeah, I don't know what like possessed you in that moment. You
I
heard
don't
us
know,
stop
KSI.
playing. KSI really possessed Noah in that moment.
No. I was just like,
We were
oh my
shocked.
gosh, we had another take just gone, and I was like, I was trolling, like I was like angrily trolling.
That was a crazy
I don't
troll.
understand.
Rage
Yeah.
lick.
Rage,
Rage.
Dude, I've
ripping
said
on
this since the
trombone.
beginning. It is always anger that fuels some solos for trombone sometimes. I want that person in the very back of the audience that
It's
is
always
like pulling-
anger?
To be as pissed
Kind
off
of,
as
yes.
you.
What?
Yes.
Emotions.
From where?
From where?
Deep
Where
down.
does the rage come from? When
I
you're-
don't know.
Deep within.
Yeah,
Deep within.
clearly. So you're saying every trombone has this
I don't know.
pent up rage.
They're
That's
all
the
angry.
only
Kind
reason
of.
they can solo.
Maybe. I don't know.
They all do look a bit angry.
No.
Kind of.
This is very much a me thing. But no, at this concert,
He's like,
okay,
maybe.
no. At this concert I was at, my college jazz concert.
Yeah. One of your like 10
No, one of
college
the
jazz
professors
concerts.
who leads the combos wives was like playing Scrabble on an iPad while someone
On
is
an iPad?
performing, like full brightness.
No
And
way.
I was like, that's not gonna fly during my set. I'm gonna do everything I possibly
That's
can
where
to
the
take your
rage came
attention
from?
away from like the iPad. So that's what I mean when I say like anger fuels my solos. I just try and put whatever I got into the horn.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like
Emotion.
that. That was like me getting the dad's attention today during sound check when the piano wasn't on. I was like, psh, psh. I just started throwing in like choked cymbals because like he wasn't looking at me and nothing was on, but we were going
No,
through the
that's so
song.
real.
So it's just like, psh, and like he didn't look and he just kind of like laughed and he just kept singing and I was like, psh, 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 psh. As we were going, he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Turn on the piano." Still did not turn when I did all that. It was like
That's
it was
very
during
funny.
praise. I praise in the valley, and it's like
Yeah, just to
Just a bunch of
yeah, I'm
symbols.
literally
That
just, I'm like
rocks.
trying to get his attention.
just to round off this point, look at my facial expression any solo I do, and
do
try
look
and
a bit
figure
like-
out.
and it's rage. It's filled with rage.
It's like a mix of rage and passion. Those are actually very close to each other. I promise. Anger and passion are two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Anyways, back to that's my hot take. That's my hot take.
That's-
Anger and passion are two sides of the same
That's my
coin.
line.
That's the
That's not,
that's the flamingest take I've ever
Yeah.
spoken in my life.
wow.
Beautiful.
Getting philosophical in here.
You wanted hot takes. I'm giving them to you.
Music
No.
is very emotional.
This is true,
It's all the players.
Yes, it is.
except for Latin rock.
Except Latin rock.
Latin
We hate
rock,
Latin
clearly,
rock.
apparently,
Doesn't
is
tickle
the
me.
worst, I guess. Just it's not. We'll have to see. Make sure to drop your Latin rock suggestions in the comments, because genuinely,
Okay,
we
I
will
am
listen to
genuinely
them.
curious.
No, I am
Yeah.
curious too.
We
I'm-
probably will after recording.
No,
Drop your
I'm
favorite
actually
albums in the
curious.
comments. I love listening to albums. Just drop them in the comments.
Noah is an album listener.
I
Oh,
am.
here's a hot take.
Ooh.
that I know what side Noah will be on. But first, let's listen to the rest of the class. If we're talking about like listening through stuff, do you have to listen to it in the intended order in an album, or in like just whatever songs you want? Because
In
some people
order.
are purists.
In order. 100%.
Tell me more about that.
Most people make their albums like Tyler the Creator, very story-like.
Talk to you, Mike.
It's very, very
That's my guy.
Intentional.
Yeah, front to bottom, intentional. The way they wrote everything.
You said like two, like front to bottom.
Yeah,
In two different directions.
2 different types. But yes, top to bottom albums. No other way, unless you're just listening to one song.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay. But if you're listening to the album, you're not gonna listen to, yeah. You could say this better, probably. Speak for
No,
me.
you're saying
You know
it
what I'm
pretty
saying.
well. I just think some albums are just albums that have songs on them, and some albums are really put together to
Yeah.
like. And there's none is better than the other, but like some albums they take you through a story, and I really love those types of albums, like concept albums or albums. Even if it's not specifically concept albums, but songs kind of lead into one another and it takes you on like a tonal journey. I think that's a valuable thing about albums that we miss now with Spotify and Apple Music and radio. But yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. What do you think,
radio.
Aiden?
Sometimes I like when the album has a specific order and they transition into each other. Like
That's true. That's
there's
true.
not like a hard break between the songs. They literally
Yeah.
yeah.
You ever listen to Flower
American
Boy?
Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Flower Boy, Tyler the Creator?
Yeah, I listen
Every
to Flower
single
Boy.
song transitions into another.
No, yeah,
That's good.
That is
Or
nice.
Have you ever listened to Hamilton?
Yes.
I don't know
every
if I've
single
listened to all of
Music,
Flower
music
Boy.
to be murdered by, too.
Yeah.
Flows together really well.
Dude,
And the first music to be murdered by.
I'm trying to
Eminem.
think of an album that does that really well. Oh, The Forever Story really links together super well.
Who's that?
JID. He was featured on M's new album.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I would say, in terms of albums, careful. Don't pull down the whole thing. Wait, we've been recording, right?
That would be
No,
really
because for our
unfortunate.
first episode, it stopped after 20 minutes and then died.
Oh.
I know. So
I just realized I might have been breathing in the mic. That's
No.
embarrassing.
I'll just mute you. The whole
Thank God.
podcast. No, I'm just kidding. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. There are some things. There's some albums. Like sometimes I'm like listening to listen to a song. So I'm like I really have to care if I'm gonna listen album order. But there are some things where it's like you listen album order, specifically musicals, and it's just not. I was so confused. I listened to Beetlejuice, not knowing I was shuffled.
What?
I was so confused.
That's crazy.
I knew nothing about the musical, nothing about the movie. I was like, who are these people? And then they're like, oh, I died. Like it played the last song third, and they're like, yay, we're getting married. And then there were these random people, and then they died. But then they're dead mom. And I'm like, what is going on? This musical is crazy.
That's a good way to listen
it was
to the
so
musical.
weird. And then I finally after I was telling my mom, we both listened to it on separate drives home, and
Mom loved it, and you were like,
and
I
was
don't understand.
What kind of musical is that? I like some of the songs. And then she's like, no, it's great. And I was like, what was going on? And she's like, well, like this. And I was like, what were you listening to?
That's like
And I
listening
looked-
to Hamilton, then hearing what's it called? What's the last song?
Who lives, who dies, who dies. Yeah, no,
You.
seriously.
Uh-huh.
When people listen to Hamilton on shuffle, I'm like, you're a psychopath. I
Yeah.
can't do that. So that's my Beetlejuice story. Is I was genuinely, I was like, this is the craziest musical I've ever listened to, because I was just
This
so
is on
lost.
Broadway?
I was like, this
Who
was
wanted
professional.
this?
Yeah, who wrote this story?
Who invested in this?
I know, but yeah. So album listening,
Top to bottom.
I love
top
it.
to bottom, front
That's
to bottom.
Front to bottom.
Especially since sometimes certain art is made to be experienced in certain ways, and I think it's important to try and create the way it was meant to be listened to or experienced as much as possible. And that can go for a lot of things, but if we're on music, I don't just for some reason some albums just demand your full attention and some just don't. Some function better as backgrounds. Which maybe that's by person basis. For some reason, I love To Pimp a Butterfly when it's background stuff rather than if I'm focusing super much on it. But other albums, it's I want to experience every moment.
What about Sgt. Pepper?
Sergeant Pepper. That is not. Actually, I had to do that as a background album.
Beatles. Yeah.
Lonely Hearts Club.
That was like Is that on it? I don't know enough.
I thought the album Sgt. Pepper's
I
Lonely
did
Hearts
listen to
Club.
this.
Oh,
I
maybe
had
it
to
is.
listen
Maybe
to
it is.
this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
album for a paper
No,
I
it was
wrote.
for a paper. It was like an extra credit paper, and you had to listen to the whole thing in one go.
Sergeant.
That was like the assignment, and then you had to like
Yeah.
Good album.
do an essay. Yeah,
The first
I
song
didn't do
is
the
the
extra
name of
credit,
the
but-
album. It's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club
Yeah,
Band.
yeah.
Shout out Shondor because Shondor always listens to Beatles.
Shondor.
Yeah. Shout out Shondor.
No, Shondor
SANDOR.
was a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah, that's why I
Wow.
know all that too because of him. Shout out.
Yeah.
No, talk in your mic.
Is it
Oh,
is it really
yeah.
that sensitive?
Well, no,
Yeah,
I
you
feel like I'm
kinda have to
destroying the listener.
point it
on
to
this.
like no,
you can't do it.
Okay.
point it like
Okay.
yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
so blah 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 blah. Like you have to. Yeah, exactly.
Blah blah blah.
We're just keeping his name.
Gosh.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up for our band hot takes episode.
These guys haven't said a single hot take.
I agree
We
with the
asked.
takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean-
opposite of what hot takes should be.
Let's go back. We like Bibbers. We hate Latin rock. We like listening
run
to
it back.
music, top to bottom.
This is gonna be the
Beetlejuice-
description. Yeah.
Beetlejuice weird.
Beetlejuice weird.
What else?
We also hate jazz. We
Yeah,
also
we hate
jazz
jazz
or
is
classical.
superior, and we hate jazz.
Yeah, trombones carry brass. End of story.
That's true.
Jazz
Anger and
trombone.
passion. Period.
Yeah, passion and anger, sides of the same something.
That's what it's
and-
all about. Passion.
Two
and
sides of the same. You don't.
It's
do
only
you
a
know
good
what that means,
solo if you're
Nathaniel? Come
angry.
on.
Of course I know what it means. I was fixing the camera, you bozo. Okay, I think that wraps it up for our Hot Takes episode. Thank you for listening in. To all our listeners who can't see us, Aiden and Marco are wearing Santa hats. So
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays, everyone.
happy holidays, everybody, to everybody who celebrates all of the holidays. You know, Hanukkah and Christmas are like the same time.
Yeah.
Hanukkah starts on like the 24th or on 25th, which is
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That doesn't happen a lot. So that's cool. So happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm going to play us out with this funky track.
Enlighten us. Oh yeah.
Man, put like the microphone to your ear real quick. So, that's it. That's all it is.
I like that.
See you guys.
That's good.